I've always had a habit of doom scrolling on my phone, on my laptop, switching from tab to tab like Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. It's not one of the best feelings to have, and you come across this video experiencing that exact same feeling as I did. Once you spend several hours, 2, 3, maybe even 5 hours on your device, your eyes start to get really tired, you don't look as attractive as you could be, and you start just feeling sick and ill to the point where you don't want to do anything that day. However, I'm here to change that basis. I'm here to set you up exactly what to do and how to have strong habits to build a strong mind. And the first major point I want to emphasize is reading books. In my thumbnail, I mentioned that reading books isn't one of the best ways, and consuming content is a lot. To some degree, yes, but when it comes to learning and how to implement both a better life situation and both a creative mind to look more attractive in whatever field you want, that's what it takes to be able to read physical books in your hand that distract you from the outside influences. That's what you want to do. I suggest fiction novels much more than nonfiction, but reading this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, helped emphasize just what I suggest you should do to build on these small details and to emphasize what you can do better. Reading books itself is a habit, and once you implement that habit each and every day, that's where it starts to have a both stronger mind, but a more clear and focused direction in what you want to do. To read books and to take in knowledge is the best way to learn, rather than just watching a simple YouTube video. And I can recommend this book here, but to truly start with that, it starts by building your schedule around these books. Reading books is what I emphasize with each and every one of these videos, and it's an important notion to focus on. But regardless, there is something about consuming. You want to be a creator, to be a successor in what field you want to go for, to be the best possible one. Not number 3, not number 2, number 1. And reading books are just one of those strong habits to build that strong mind. And that's why I put it as the first point here, because it's the true Kickstarter. If you want to have a better life and a more focused, driven mind, then start by reading books. It's picking up a physical book in your house or whatever kind, because you have it there, and it's starting that. But if you don't want to start reading books, that's okay. It's one of those strong habits I emphasize. And the second big point is physical sports. Whether that be football like here or track as I do in my free time, doing some sort of physical activity, especially if you're a guy, creates that masculine energy to go out there and do something in the world. Guys like myself want to be something greater than where we are, whatever situation we can be, to be adventurers and explore the world like our ancestors in the past. And that may sound cringy to say, but it's also good to point that you have this energy and how we haven't evolved so much since then. Being able to hone this energy in physical sports, whether you're a guy or a girl, it starts that feeling, this energized feeling that you don't get when you doom scroll all the time. Physically going out there in the world and doing something that makes you sweat and ache, that's a lot you can do. And I'm here to just say to get started on that exact metric and how to do better with those facts in mind. To find what sport you want to do, look into which one you physically find the most appealing. I personally know that I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but looking into soccer, for instance, I've always loved the way it works and to look into the techniques there. Knowing what sport you want can not only make you bond with other people better, which is a point I'll get to as the final point, but it also allows you to build on top of good habits. You're doing all the physical things, and now that the weather, at least where I live, is physically getting better, you'll do so much more than where you started. And it all starts by picking up a ball or some kind of game. To find the people you want to have and to just start with getting that right mental space, you really need to just get things right. And as I would say, habit number 3, cleaning the house. When people think of self-improvement, many people don't look into cleaning the house and how it helps clear your mind. It's a smaller habit compared to reading books and physical sports, as these two can be full fleshed out careers compared to cleaning the house. And yes, it may remind you of a 9-to-5 job you're currently working, but to be able to have that clear mind and to start somewhere in your self-improvement, journey, not just reading and creating books. Cleaning the house is one of the best ways to do it. You know what needs to be done when cleaning. So it really starts with just getting those small details out the way. I always love starting with my bed because pointing it out over there, my bed is one of those things I go to bed to each and every day. I see it every morning and every night. So to have it be cleaned every morning and every night allows my mind to both be sharper with my brain fuel, but it also allows me to get done and get the tasks I need. I always like using this metaphor of having brain points and how the more you use, the more figuratively you'll be able to do things. If you clean your bed each and every day, you'll have a more sharper mind. Compared to leaving it empty or leaving it dirty, you have something that you can then look proud at. It's a lot like building a good body for those physical sports or sharpening your mind for books. Cleaning the house is one of the best ways to get the tasks done, and it starts small, so don't overthink the way you're supposed to clean your house. Start with your bed and truly emphasize just getting certain things done in this idea. The fourth big habit that builds a strong mind for those who still have the struggle of just scrolling, and those who do already left this video, but it's the idea of creative meditation, as I called. Creative meditation is a lot more vague than I wished, but it's about just creating something. Meditating on an idea, as I've advised in previous videos about books, but it's also about just getting the foot out the way and selling some sort of creative venture, whether that be guitar or painting or some sort of thing that makes you a creator, like business or YouTube videos. Being able to build on those not only is attractive for both guys and girls who you want to physically pull into, but it also allows you to just look at the world so much more fresh and clear. The reason why you're consuming content and doom scroll is because your own life is terrible. You can't create content, so you keep on consuming more and more until your eyes are spent and your day is completely finished. Truly starting just having those W's and creatively meditating on an idea to then build on top of these good habits I suggest here. You should do all of these, in fact. And creative meditation, as vague as it is, it's really just going out there and making some sort of art piece or some sort of creation that's physically in the world that you can either see online or see in your hands in front of you. It doesn't matter where it starts, and as terrible as it sounds, you're going to be bad where you start, wherever field you want. But to have those allows you to not only look at your life much more clear, but it also sets you straight for where you want to go from here. The big fifth and final tip I want to emphasize when it comes to having a strong habits for a strong mind is the connections. Everywhere you go, you might think you're alone, and you're truly not. If you perfectly believe you are alone in this world, I think you have tons of thinking to do and a lot more self-awareness that you haven't even touched yet. And to have that, you need to look at the connections out there in the world. Doesn't matter if it's both in-person people that like your parents or your siblings or people online. It doesn't. And as much as people say stranger danger, you gotta put your foot out there to build this strong habit of just going back and just progressively overloading some sort of fact. We're here to improve our lives, not to put it to shame. And to build on these connections, that's what it is. Now, I have a second channel explaining the idea of connections a lot more. So if you're interested in that, in those advanced ideas of not only how to talk with people more, as well as how to negotiate with connections and figuratively find out what you want to do, you can check that in the link of the description or at the tail end of this video. But regardless, understanding what connections are is an important fact that really helps the strong habits you do. And overall, it's coming across each of these habits to read books, to go out there and play some sort of sport, clean the house, creatively meditate on an idea, and to build these connections. Either one of these is a great start to not only fix your life out of some sort of doom scrolling habit, but it also allows you to create something that you haven't been able to create or to start a project somewhere. The biggest key I want to say, leaving off this video, is the idea of shortness, and to just start small with every single one of these. For a book, all it has to be is 1 page a day. Cleaning the house, yeah, your house may be your house may be absolutely terrible, down in the dumps. So just start with the bed. Physical sports, you can be absolutely terrible at every single sport out there, but just getting up your body and moving so that you can have the cardio to do things out there, that's all it takes. And for each and every one of these, take it with a grain of salt, but it's also good to implement these. You'll get better and above everyone you know. And to start with every single one of these, that's what it takes to get ahead. If you want more of me, check out my socials in the top link of the description, as well as my books if you want to hear more insights of what it takes to be both creative and meditational on just certain ideas. Regardless, wherever you are, that's where you stand. And until next time, take care.